What's up, everybody? Swarsky here. In this video, I'm going to do one of my favorite things that I can do with laser cutting, and then in combo also with vinyl cutting, which is tracing images and doing bit mapping. And that's what turns and changes you from keeping things on your 6x6 to doing things like this, which is super cool. And this is what I'm going to show you how I did. So I'm going to show you how to do this piece. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is pick a good image. So if you go into Google, pick your images. Now, the biggest piece that you need to do is that you need to add, sorry about that, is you need to add that part right there, is outline black and white. I don't care what you're looking for at the end, outline black and white. Now, it's funny because, of course, I'm going to end up picking a colored image, but I'm going to show you why that's a good one. But traditionally and usually, you're going to get these images that you're looking for that are clear, black and white, and the lines are sharp, okay? And the size is pretty big. You know what the size is by looking at this number right here. This is the pixel size, and you want to try and stay above 500, okay? So anything bigger than 500 is usually going to be pretty good. Also make sure that it's nice and clear. What I mean by clear, so you see this image, even though it's kind of in the range, it's still pretty small, but you see like it's kind of feathered and it's kind of blurry. That's not going to work very well. So you might have to take some time and search. Also with like ones like this, where it's too small and you see like all this shading, that's bad. We don't want shading. We want nice, sharp images. Likewise with this, you have kind of some colors, but they're not really well defined. It's okay, but not great. This is a good example. You see how it looks a little blurry. When you try and trace it, it's not going to show up well. Also, you have these really small parts in here that just aren't going to catch. So what you want, stuff like this, you see that's really clear and crisp lines. It's big enough. It's in the 500s, everything like that. I'm going to use Goldie. Now, the reason why I'm able to use this color is first, it's big. It's over the 500 mark. And you see that it's only really 3 colors, and they're really well defined and isolated. There's no shading, nothing like that. And what I mean by shading is like you see like this piece here, no good. So I'm going to use this one. When I find a good image that I want, I'm going to right click. I'm going to right click where I can find it, copy image. Then I'm going to go into CorelDraw, into the file that I have, and I'm going to right click again and paste it. So now I have my image in CorelDraw. Okay, I can resize it, anything like that. I'm going to turn this into this. Okay, that's going to be my goal. I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, first thing is tracing. Once I click on an image, you're going to see I get this new toolbar that has this bitmap. Bitmap is my tracing tool. To start with, I'm going to use what's called quick trace. So I'm going to use this drop down, quick trace. If I have a good image, I should be able to get all the lines and everything that I need. So I'm going to click on my image, click on quick trace. It doesn't look like anything happened, but it just overlaid its trace on top of the image. And it also copied the color and everything like that. So now if I click and hold, I can drag this over, and you can already see the lines that it made. Okay, so here's my original image. Here's my bitmap and my trace. I'm going to pull that out and move it here. Okay, now to do all the things that I want, I need to ungroup. So every time I trace an image, I'm going to select it, go to Object, Group, Ungroup All Objects. Now it's individualized. That's what's going to help me edit the way that I want to. Okay. Now, just like with, I'm going to select it all, just like with the text. I'm going to go here. I'm going to get rid of the fill. So I'm going to left click on my X. Don't worry, it's not gone. Right click on my black. Okay. Now you're seeing that it's starting to look a little bit more like the vectored image. Okay. So now I've got to start. Now, since I have it ungrouped, I can get rid of the things I don't want. I don't want the box. I don't want this little piece here. If there's any other parts that you don't want, this is your time to delete that. Okay. Now I need to start vectoring, okay, and rastering. So I'm going to start by vectoring. Easiest thing you see when I zoom into mine, a lot of this is blue lined, right? That vector engrave. That's what makes, I'm going to zoom in here, these real defined lines right here where it cuts halfway through. And it defines the edges between the rastering and the parts that I didn't touch, okay? So most of that's blue. So that's what I'm going to do to start with. I'm going to turn the whole image blue, right click. You're going to get a full blue image. I want to cut it out, right? That's what cuts this part out, so it's not sitting on the 6x6. So vector cut, which means I need to click on the outline, which is why I ungrouped it. Right click red. Okay. Now you're starting to see it's looking a little bit more like it. Okay. Now, future reference. If I don't want to raster or anything like that, I can be done with this image. It'll do it, but it'll look better if I can raster this. That's what this shading does. Okay. So that's what I'm going to show you. Okay. So first thing is I want to raster this outline. So if I click on the red, if I left click black, it rasters, but it rasters the whole thing. But don't worry, if I just start clicking now, I say, well, I don't want that black, I want it white. Well, click on the next layer and left click white. Okay. Now you're seeing I have that outline. Now I'm going to go through and just complete the process. I want his smile black, so I'm going to click in here. Black, oops, I want the teeth to be white, everything like that. So click. If I want to select multiple images, hold shift. Hold shift, make it white. Now I just did his mouth. There, I can make that black. His ear needs to be black. Eyebrows, hold shift if I want to do more than one image. Eyes are last. Oops, I want these to be not black, so I'm going to select those parts, make them white. There, last part, make it white. And just like that, you get an image that when I print, it does this. You see I have that nice defined line there. I have the rastering, the vector cuts it all the way out, and I'm set to go. This is my favorite part to do. The last thing you need to do before you get it is to regroup. Select it all, object, group, group objects. The reason I do that is because now it's all one piece. Okay. And if I want to edit anything, just ungroup it again. Oops. And then I can get after the single pieces. But when I'm done and I'm set, I always want to group the objects. Okay. That's vector cutting, guys. Super fun. It gives you some really great options for creating some really cool stuff. So have fun. I'm going to have you practice with Goldie. So that's going to be your next step and see if you can recreate that. See you on the next one.